Hey, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we gonna take a look at all the units that you want to take notes in the development diagram, and also probably some of the gacha units. If you do happen to have them, then it is good. But if you don't have them, you can always build them in the development diagram. So first of all, I wanna just go through the summary of all the debuffs in this game that is currently at level 5, because at level 6 there are not many units, like mostly are the units in the UR category, but for the development diagram it is enough to go up until level 5 debuff. So if you want to go and take a look at this website, like for an attack down debuff that can go up to 30%, these are all the units that can have them. So for these units, the UR1s up until the Psycho Gundam MK3, they can go up to 35% attack down at level 6, because they can still get stronger than this. But what I want to focus on in this video is the units that you can actually get. So Valwalo is currently free. And then the DO is from the development diagram, the Psycho Gundam, and then this Zaku, and then the Gundam X Divider, and then this one Double O. So, and this one, this guy here from the I forgot. This one is from the Barbatos, right? Yeah. So these are all the units that you can actually build in the development diagram. So take notes on this. So they are the ones with the high attack down debuff. Now going into the defense down, this one we have the Red Gundam, which if you have followed the event previously, then you should have this. But if you don't have, then you have another option, which is Zeta Gundam. Then the Cubely from the Z Gundam, and then after that we have the Freedom Meteor, and also this guy here. I forgot his name. It's on the Exia side, in Exia story. No. That is from the Mercury, Mercury story. So this one, for the mobility down, you have the Queen Manta. And this is why, in my previous video, I mentioned that Psychomo are one of the best debuffers. You have Psycho Gundam, you have Cubely, you have Queen Manta already in here, and also the Zaku from the Zeta Gundam. Yeah, those are all Psychomo. So we also have there the Ul, I think Ulfrid Ulf, or yeah, we're gonna go into development diagram later for this guy. And then for the beam damage taken up, we have the Wing Gundam, which is one of the best, and then Vertigo, and then the Perfect Strike, and also, yeah, that's it. The rest are from Gacha. Now, we can go to the physical damage taken. We have the Shadow Gundam from the development diagram, and also the Gushin remake. And yeah, this one, we know that this is the ultimate unit. So ultimate unit, we can just mention a little bit later. Now going into the special damage, it's very, very rare to have a strong special damage debuff. And the only available development diagram is this one, Cubely Double Z. This is why I keep mentioning that Cubely is really, really good. So those are all the units that you can have in the development diagram that is worth mentioning. So we're gonna go through all this development diagram and take a look at each one of them. I'm gonna tell you my analysis and my experience, and what I've also heard from a brother who have actually used the unit at maximum limit break and maximum level and everything. So first of all, we're gonna go to the Mobile Suit Gundam series, and from here, the G3 Gundam is actually really, really good. Really good. If you don't have a good physical range damage dealer, then this is the best physical damage dealer that you can get for free. Okay, so you can clear the expert stage 1 using this G3 Gundam if you don't have any other DPS, but because the enemy have, or all of them have high field, which reduce beam damage taken, and we all know that more than half of the units in this game use beam damage. So yeah, this is gonna be a very, very strong physical range DPS unit that you can have. So I do recommend, if you do need him, then upgrade him. He's really good. Now going into the the Zeon side in here, the Zeon side, the Gyanios, you can just level him up to level 60 as long as he can survive getting hit the first time with 1 HP left, then that's it, his job is done. So that's Gian EOS. Then we have the Big Sam in here. Big Sam, really good. I do recommend if you just started playing this game, you do want to just upgrade him really fast, first of all, because he can use a really huge map attack, which gonna help you a lot in clearing your story stages really fast. So then we have the Zeon. This one increase the enemy's beam damage taken up. So, but this is not the best. It's the debuff is only up to level 4, so it is still something. Like, you don't need to upgrade him so much. Level 60 is enough as long as he don't miss, which he actually do a lot. Like, he miss a lot. So as long as he can hit his enemy and put the debuff, that's it. His job is done. Like, he is one of the debuffer that have a 5 range attack for his debuff. So when you are trying to debuff your enemy, you do want to hit them from as far away as possible, as to avoid getting killed by their counter attack. So a 5 range debuffer is very good. So some of the debuffer that we saw in the summary just now, they, even though they have a high level debuff, but their debuff is on 3 range. So it is really gonna be really hard to use that. Now going into the ultimate unit, we have the Casval Gundam. This is one of the strongest physical damage range DPS. So if you also do need a range damage dealer, then this one is really good. And also the only attacker ultimate unit. So if you have watched my previous video, like I mentioned that among the ultimate units, he is the only one that is attacker. And for the rules of when you are using, when you are upgrading your units, like if they are a supporter, if they are a debuffer, you don't need them to be at the maximum level, you know. And like for example, when you try to SP convert your unit, like you definitely do not want to upgrade your supporter to level 100, because if you can just get them to level 90 or level 80, they're already enough. It's already enough. Their job is not to have as much stats as possible, as long as they can land their debuff and survive the enemy attack. That's it. Their damage is a bonus. So what you need to upgrade to the maximum is always the attacker, because as an attacker, you want to deal as much damage as possible to your enemy. And also for a tank, as long as you can survive getting hit the first time, then you can just die on the second time. If you can survive on the second time, then that's good. Like, that's the only time you do want to give more defense to your tanker. But whether you die, whether you can block the enemy damage, like if you receive damage from the enemy, like 60% of your HP goes down, or you get hit by the enemy and or HP go down by 99%, the result is the same. You're gonna survive 2 hits from the enemy. So whether you survive with 1 HP or you survive with 40% HP, the next time the enemy attack you, you're gonna die. So the best way to spend your material is to upgrade a DPS unit, an attacker unit, which is this one. Casval Gundam is the only attacker ultimate unit. But if you don't need him that much, then you can still save your material. Just in case in the future we're gonna come out another ultimate unit, then that's gonna be the power creep. Like, the new ultimate unit definitely gonna be stronger than previous ultimate unit. We've already seen like this game have like a really strong power creep unit. So yeah, if you do need a range physical damage dealer, then G3 Gundam at limit break 3 is always going to be stronger than an SSR ultimate Casval Gundam unit. So unless you upgrade him to the UR, then G3 Gundam is stronger than that Casval. So that's from the Mobile Suit Gundam series. Now we're gonna go to the Z Gundam. Now in the Z Gundam, we have the Hyakushiki. This is similar to G3 Gundam, although this one is weaker. This one is weaker than the G3 Gundam, so I don't recommend upgrading him. Now going to the Zeta Gundam, this one is really good. Like, this is a defense down, have a really strong defense down debuff. We've already seen in the summary just now, and it is on a 5 range attack. And also, together with him, he also have another debuff that increase physical weapons damage taken. Although that's only at level 3, but it is something. If you are forced to use it, then he can still use that. So now going into the Z Gundam here, the Titans and Axis, we have the Psycho Gundam, one of the best SSR tank because of the eye field. The eye field in here reduce damage taken by 40% from beam range weapons, and also he has a really strong attack down debuff. We've already seen in the summary too just now. So Psycho Gundam, one of the best tank. And then we go down here, DO is also quite a really strong tank. And this one reduce the enemy's mobility. Where is it? Mobility and attack down. So this one also quite good, but the attack down is on 3 range compared to the Psycho Gundam is at 4 range, I think. So this one is not as good as Psycho Gundam, but it has a movement of 5. So if you need him to tank to protect your ally, then this can do from 1 square further away compared to the Psycho Gundam. So depending on needs, you can either use the O or you can either use Psycho Gundam, depending on the range needed, the range requirement. And then we also have Cubely in here. This one is really good for the debuffer, a 5 range debuff that it reduces the enemy's defense. So yeah, in the Z Gundam category, all of them are good. Like all the SSR units are good, and the SR units are not worth mentioning. Like they are just fodders, all of them. Now going into the ultimate unit, the Zeta Gundam here, Zeta Gundam 3, is really good at inflicting defense down debuff using this one. This is the highest debuff that he can have, and also this is at level 6 because this is an ultimate unit. That means that if you upgrade him to UR, this skill gonna get upgraded. The best part about this Zeta Gundam is that, look at this. Just now the defense down is at 4 range, but if you upgrade this to UR, then the defense down go up to become 5 range. So this is really good, and the defense down also get upgraded. Look at this, defense down 25%. So this is at level 6 now. So if you don't have anything better to upgrade for the ultimate unit, I do suggest just upgrade the Zeta Gundam because he really needs the range, and also it upgrades his debuff to up 1 level. Now, and if you upgrade the weapon skill to level 5, then you're gonna have the strongest defense down currently in the game. So that's the Zeta Gundam 3. Now going into the Double Z Gundam, there are a lot of strong Gundam that is worth mentioning to in here. In the AUX line here, the full armor Double Z Gundam, as usual, the SSR unit, is quite alright. Because the barrage here have 4,500 power as a DPS, but the best part about this is that it's a special damage. There are not many special special damage DPS unit, so this is one of those special DPS. So if you go to expert stage number 1, you can actually deal damage to the enemy because the eye field only block beam range weapon. This is a special range weapon, and it also increase your damage by critical. It increases your critical damage by 15%. So if you want to use this Gundam, use a pilot that have a critical rate increase, and you can maximize the power of this full armor Double Z Gundam. But in this series, there is 2 of the best SR units side by side. Look at this. We have the Double Z Gundam and also the enhanced Double Z Gundam. People miss this unit. Like I mean they kind of not not yet realize that this unit have 2 weapon power 5,000 attack. Look at this. Giant Beam Saber and High Mega Cannon have power 5,000 in a single unit. Although the Giant Beam Saber requires tension max or greater, but the High Mega Cannon doesn't require anything. And also the higher your remaining HP is, the greater weapon power increase. In terms of damage calculator, this Double Z Gundam deals higher damage than the Freedom Gundam, the Freedom SR Gundam. If people say that, the Freedom SR Gundam is the only one that is worth upgrading in the SR category, like you can also consider this one and also the enhanced double Z Gundam. The only thing that is advantageous by using the Freedom Gundam is that the Freedom Gundam is more preferable only because the map attack and also because he is an alternative series. So depending on it, we already have a lot of strong UC units, so we don't really need this double Z Gundam and the enhanced double Z Gundam anymore. But in the alternative series, the Freedom Gundam is much more useful because as an SR unit and also a DPS, you do want to avoid getting counterattacked by your enemy as much as possible. So a map attack become very valuable. Like when you're attacking using a map attack, aside from dealing damage to a lot of enemies, you can also avoid getting counterattacked by that enemy. But in terms of damage, this double Z Gundam actually deals far more damage. If you attack the enemy with single target damage, this one deals more damage than the Freedom Gundam SR, because the ability also increase attack, like 2 of the abilities increase attack, while the Freedom Gundam increase survivability. So yeah, people kind of miss these 2 units. Now the enhanced double Z Gundam is actually the opposite. Like just now, the double Z Gundam have a melee that requires tension max or greater. Now in here, the range attack is the one that requires tension max or greater, and it has a power of 5,000 here. Now, the melee becomes only 4,500 power, and this is the one that doesn't require tension max or greater, but the closer you are to the enemy, the greater weapon power increase, up to 5% increase, so it's kind of also a really strong attack. But the best part about the enhanced double Z Gundam is that this attack have 2 types, melee and awaken. The range also have 2 types, range and awaken. So if you use a pilot, especially a UR pilots, they have a really high awaken stats. So if you use a UR pilots, it is better to use it on enhanced double Z Gundam instead of the double Z Gundam, because the awaken stats from a UR pilots goes into this attack. So if you go into double Z Gundam, you will not use the awaken stats from your pilot because they are either range or melee. But this one use the awaken stats, and for UR pilots, they mostly the DPS have high awaken stats. So only if you use an SSR pilot, then both the double Z Gundam and the enhanced double Z Gundam will deal the same damage. But if you use a UR pilot, it is better to use the enhanced double Z Gundam. So it depends on which pilot are going to use this unit. So these 2 are worth mentioning, really strong. Really strong SR units. Like it's quite rare to find a strong SR units. Now going into the Neo Zeon here, we have the game mark, which is not worth mentioning. Like this is just an extra DPS, so do not upgrade him. Like just collect him and that's it. Now the Qbeli double Z, like we've already seen, is the only one in the development diagram that have damage taken special weapon up by 20% with a power of 4,500 some more, but the range is only 3. So it also have an attack of 5 range, but it reduced the defense load by only 10%. So this is the only development diagram unit that can increase special weapons damage taken at level 5. So this is worth upgrading. Now the Queen Manta, we've already seen just now, he has the highest mobility down debuff from the development diagram category. So here, mobility down 20% at range 5, which is really good, and also have a map attack. So this is the counterpart of Psycho Gundam. So Psycho Gundam attack down, this one is mobility down. So depending on needs, you can just choose in between, because he also has the eye field. You know, one of the best damage mitigation that you can have for a tank unit. So that one is Queen Manta. Now this one, the Zaku, also has like a really strong debuff. It has this one. Let me see. Attack down 20%, just like the Psycho Gundam just now. But it is not as good as the Psycho Gundam. So do not just don't use him. So from here, only the Queen Manta and the Qbeli double Z is worth mentioning. So you can just focus on that. Now, if you don't have any other options, we also have the Doven Wolf in here, which has a long-range physical damage taken up. So if you go into the expert number 1 stage, like it's quite hard to find a physical weapons damage taken up only from the development category, like for the mission. Then you can also just use the Doven Wolf in here, but just don't waste too much material on him. Now going into the ultimate unit, we have the Psycho Gundam MK3. Now this one is very weird. Like the Psycho Gundam, we know that it has an eye field and also a really strong tank, but this one actually lose its eye field. So it's no longer become a really strong tank, although it's a tank unit, but it loses its damage mitigation ability. So it's a weaker tank than the actual Psycho Gundam. So this one, instead of becoming a tank, it becomes a DPS, like a small time DPS here, with still an attack down, but an even shorter range than the Psycho Gundam. But this is the only ultimate unit that has a map attack. So yeah, it's kind of like all over the place. So I don't recommend upgrading the Psycho Gundam MK3, especially if you go into the damage calculator. Like he is one of the weakest DPS, weakest damage. It has the weakest weapon attack damage. Yeah, so kind of hard to say that, but yeah, it has one of the weakest weapon attack damage, so I don't recommend upgrading him as an ultimate unit. Now going into the G Gundam here, we also have a lot of good units in here, especially look at this. This is the Shadow Gundam, one of the best physical damage taken up buff in this game, with range of 4, physical damage, weapons damage taken up by 20%. Now, going into the, wait. We are the experts go okay. Yeah, I'm reading my notes. So here we also have this shuffle heart. So another R units. This is an R unit that is worth mentioning. This R unit is quite rare because it has a power of 4,500 as an R unit. Although it's range 1-1, like I don't recommend you to upgrade this, but I just want to mention that there is an R unit with a 4,500 weapon power in here. The Shuffle Heart, the Shuffle Joker also have 4,500 attack. Here, 4,500, but it's just to mention it here, but I do not recommend you upgrading them. Now we have the Shining Gundam in here that has a power of 5,000, but it requires you to be at tension max or greater. So among these units, like the Shining Gundam, I think the Dragon Gundam also has it. Like all of these units requires tension max or greater, but their attack, their power can go up to 5,000. So this is also worth mentioning, but not as good as the Double Z Gundam and Enhanced Double Z Gundam, because even though they have an attack power of 5,000 that requires a tension max or greater, but they have another attack that doesn't require a tension max or greater, like this one. It has a power of 4,500 and it doesn't require tension max or greater, but this is a tank unit, so it has a low attack. Too bad. Now, and then I think Gundam Master doesn't have. A power 5,000 attack, yes, only 4,500 there, and it requires tension max or greater. Now, going down from the Shadow Gundam, we have this Gundam, the Master Gundam, one of the best physical melee damage dealer in here, and also it has a map attack. So the Darkness Finger is a power 4,500 attack that can also has a critical damage increase by 20%. This is huge. Okay, so if you do want to use this Master Gundam, then definitely use a pilot that can increase critical rate, and this is gonna be a really strong physical damage dealer, a melee physical damage dealer. Together with the Shadow Gundam, this increased enemy's physical damage taken up, this is the physical damage dealer. So it is perfect. Now the Dark Gundam is just so-so, it's not really that good. Like, it's just there, it's just being there. So I don't recommend upgrading him unless you do need a tank. Then just bring him, upgrade him to level 60. As long as he can take a hit, then that's it. Or you can just leave him at level 1. Like just take one hit and you can just die. It's not worth upgrading at all. So going into the Wing Gundam, we have a lot of good units in here also. First of all, the Hyperion, also similar to the Master Gundam, but this one use a beam saber. So the Master Gundam is a physical melee damage dealer. This one is a beam melee damage dealer. So really strong, power 4500 and weapon power up to 10% increase. So this one also, if you do need a beam melee damage dealer, this is your guy. And then the tall geese is so. If you do need an attack down debuffer, then you can just upgrade him to level 60. But I don't recommend upgrading him. I myself made the mistake of upgrading him. So yeah, do not upgrade him. Now another unit that is worth mentioning is this Ultron Gundam. This is one of the highest weapon damage dealer in this game because this power 4500 get an increase of critical damage. But also the best part is that this guy have a really high attack stats. So if you do want to deal damage using a physical damage and from far away, this is one of the best. Like aside from the G3 Gundam, this is really good. And not this one. This one is really good. This is a melee, a physical damage, but it has a 4 range. Yeah, it's rare to have a melee attack that has a 4 range. Okay, so this is one of a kind, a physical damage dealer with melee but 4 range. So yeah, Ultron Gundam worth mentioning. If you do need to deal damage in against an enemy like a Psycho Gundam or Queen Manta that you do require a physical damage, then he is. But too bad you cannot bring him into the expert number 1 stage because this is alternative series. Now the Wing Gundam, we've already know that this is a really good debuffer. It has a beam damage taken up from 5 range away. And then it also have a map attack, so really good. And it also have a buster rifle. After you give the enemy beam weapon damage taken up, you can just shoot it again using the defense down. It has a range of 4, so it is a really good supporter unit. Now going down, this one is kind of so-so. Like it's still experimental because Gundam Deadside Hell is the only unit in this game that has this ability. When using evade at the beginning of it, increase all evasion by 10% when choosing to evade. This is the only unit with this ability. So this basically just reduce the enemy's chance to attack you by 10%, which is quite alright. But because the nature of this game is that evasion is really hard to purposely made. So even though you can reduce the enemy's chance to attack you by 10%, they still have a high chance to attack you. Like the most you can get, I've already asked my brother to try, with a maximum mobility and a pilot with the highest awareness, as you can only go down as far as 50% chance of getting hit. It's still a 50-50 chance. So if you get hit, then all of your mobility is useless there. Your evasion is useless. So yeah, it's just worth mentioning. But if you do want to upgrade, just upgrade the Wing Gundam, the Ultron Gundam, and the Hyperion, and that's it. Now going into the ultimate unit here, I think there is no other unit in the Gundam Wing. Yes, I think that's it. Now going to the ultimate, this is Gundam Aquarius. This is one of the highest. This one, physical damage taken debuffer, physical weapons damage taken debuffer. Because once you upgrade this to UR unit, it will upgrade the debuff to a level 6 physical weapon damage taken debuff. Look at this, physical damage taken up by 25%. This is a level 6 debuff. So this is one of the strongest physical weapon damage taken debuffer, but it has only a range of 3, so it is really hard to apply this. The one with the 5 range is a beam weapons damage taken, but this is only at level 4. So yeah, like this is the second least, my second least favorite ultimate units to upgrade. after the Psycho Gundam MK3. So yeah, I don't recommend going for the Gundam Aquarius unless you already have, like, unless you are bored with this game and have nothing else to upgrade. Now going to the Gundam X here, we have the Gundam Divider X here, the X Divider, but this becomes a tank instead of a DPS like the Gundam X. So the Divider is an okay tank, but the one that is worth mentioning is actually the Gundam X. The Gundam X here still have one of a really strong attack, 4,500 satellite cannon. Like I just want to mention it, but it has a range of only 4 and requires tension max or greater, so it's really hard to use. So I don't recommend upgrading him compared to the Double Z Gundam, but it is just there. If you do want to take note, yeah, we have a Gundam X, an attacker unit in the alternative series that you can also use to deal damage to your enemy, aside from the Freedom Gundam. And that's why Freedom Gundam is much more preferable, because in the alternative series, he is the only one that is worth to use SP conversion. This Gundam X Divider have like an attack down, I think, or mobility down and then the attack down. Yes, this one. It has a really high attack down, but it's on the range of 1 to 2. So it's quite bad. I don't recommend upgrading him or using him at all. But if you don't have any other choice for an attack down debuffer, then yeah, you can go for him. And then we also have the Gundam Virsago, this one. Yep, this one, Gundam Virsago, has a really high attack. Look at this, 4,500 attack with critical damage 10%. So this is another SR unit that is worth upgrading. So when you are doing your Eternal road for the Gundam X story, then this is gonna be your main damage dealer. Because the Gundam X Divider is a tank instead. And we also have Patulia for your DPS. So you can just choose whether you want to use Patulia as your damage dealer or the Gundam Virsago, but you do need 2 DPS. So anyway, you gotta just bring both Patulia and your Gundam Virsago and deal damage to your enemy to clear your stage in the Eternal Road, the Gundam X story stage. But I think I cleared the stage using a level 60 Virsago only and also level 60 Patulia, so you don't need to upgrade them that much. Like, look at this, the Patulia, it is an SSR unit, but it has a lower weapon power than the Virsago. So yeah, this is gonna be your damage dealer. And then Patulia is alright, so I don't recommend upgrading him. Like you've already seen just now, the weapon level sucks. And the only good ones, the SSR in this Gundam X series, is the Vertigo. The Vertigo have a long range debuff. Look at this. This is 2 to 5 attack, and it increased the damage taken from beam weapons up by 20%. So if you need a specific Gundam X unit, then you use Vertigo. But if not, then in the alternative series, you still have a Wing Gundam, which is a better beam damage taken debuffer instead of this guy. So going into the seat, this has a lot of mentionable unit that you can try to use, like this one. The Perfect Strike Gundam have a really good debuff here. We have damage taken from beam weapons up by 20%. So this is another alternative series, range 3 to 5. So Wing Gundam or him, you can just choose. But Wing Gundam have a map attack, that's why it's more preferable. And then we go to the this one, the Freedom. One of the best SR units from the alternative series. You can see here that it has a 5,000 power attack at range 3 to 4, similar to the Double Z Gundam. Also, the higher the remaining HP is, up to 5% increased damage. But the difference compared to the Double Z Gundam for SR Double Z Gundam is that it has a map attack, which has a power of 3,000, which is good. So, like I mentioned just now, map attack is unavoidable, uncounterable, so it's always good to have. But the ability, it goes more into a defensive stats here. So it reduces physical damage taken and also restore own EN 5% at the start of every turn. So the attack in terms of damage, it loses to Double Z Gundam, but in terms of utility, this has a higher utility than Double Z Gundam. Now, going into the Gundam Freedom Gundam Meteor. This one have a really strong, I think it's defense zone. No, yeah, defense zone debuffer here. Range 5, defense zone 20%. And also it has a map attack. You do need him for the seed stage in the Eternal Road to kill as many enemies as possible. But in terms of power, look at this, 2600. They actually lose to the Freedom Gundam. The Freedom Gundam have a 3000 power map attack. So if you do want to use a map attack, like if you need more map attack, instead of building more Freedom Gundam, it is more preferable to just build more. I mean, Freedom Gundam Meteor, it is more preferable to just build more Freedom Gundam. And also, if you go to the Justice Meteor in here, look at this. It's Justice Meteor. It also have a map attack, but the power is 2700. So that's why the Freedom Gundam have a stronger map attack than the both Meteor. So yeah, it's worth upgrading the Freedom Gundam, the Freedom SR Gundam, and also the Justice Gundam here. The SR also have a 5000 attack power. It has the same ability as the Freedom Gundam. Look at this, power 5000 attack, range 1 to 3, not as long as the Freedom Gundam, but the closer you are to the enemy, the greater weapon power increase, same. So it also can deal quite a lot of damage, but it lacks the utility. So in terms of Double Z Gundam, the Double Z Gundam deal more damage than the Freedom Gundam. This one deal less damage than the Freedom Gundam. So yeah, you better off just upgrade the Freedom Gundam. Now going into here, where is the bad part about playing on the PC is that I cannot zoom out. So we have, oh yeah, in the Wing Gundam, I forgot to mention the heavy arm custom just now. Yeah, this one. The heavy arm custom is also an SR unit with a 4500 attack. Look at this, 4500, range 1 to 4, and it gives an attack down by 10%. And it is a rare unit that have a high power, although it is a tank unit. So this is a tank SR unit, and it has a mobility of 5, not a mobility, a movement of 5. So if you require him to take damage for your allies, then this is also a good unit to choose from. It has a high power attack, and it has a movement of 5, and it is a tank. So if you do need a tank from the alternative series, this is gonna be a disposable tank that you can use to take hit for you. Now going back into the Seed Gundam, we have the Forbidden Gundam. Another one of a really good and rare SR units. This is a tank, and the best part of about the Forbidden Gundam is this one. This is exclusive only for Forbidden Gundam. This is an ability that reduces damage taken from a beam range weapon when you are executing support defense, and it reduces damage taken by 30%, which is only 10% lower than the eye field for the Psycho Gundam. So if there happens to be a stage in the future where you can only use an SR units, then this is gonna be your strongest tank. Among the SR units, this is the strongest tank that you can have. So this is worth mentioning. Okay, now going into the where is the, I forgot. Is it in the double O or in the Seed? It should be in the Seed series. Where is the Leopard Gundam? Leopard Gundam. Leopard. Now this is the Buster. Leopard Gundam is where? I forgot where is the Leopard Gundam. Yeah, from here, the Providence is just so-so. It's not the best thing. It's just been there. So if you do need a tank from the Seed category, then this is just there. But it doesn't really have a good debuff, and also not a really strong tank. It doesn't have that strong of a mitigation. You know, it reduces physical damage taken by 20%, but the freedom and the justice can also have that. So, but they only reduce by 10%. This one 20%. But not as a good tank as compared to the other tank like the Psycho Gundam. But if you do need a tank from the Seed series, then this is the only thing you have. I prefer to actually just use the Forbidden Gundam for your tank instead of that. If you have a choice, like if you can upgrade him to an even higher level, then I rather have him. But yeah, it depends. It depends. Like this one, I think it reduced beam damage taken just now, right? So if you fight against an enemy with beam range damage, then you use the Forbidden Gundam. If you fight against an enemy with physical damage, then you use the Providence Gundam. So it depends on needs, but it is more rare to fight against a physical damage dealer than a beam damage dealer. Now going into the ultimate. Oh yeah, this one also, I want to mention this guy. The Buku is an R tank that has a 5 movement. So if you do need an R tank that has a 5 movement, then Buku is one of the unit you can use for a disposable tank that can just absorb your damage. Now we go to the ultimate units. We have the Super Hyperion Gundam. This is a really strong tank because it has a really good damage mitigation in here. Look at this. If you fight against Mobile Shield Gundam Seed, you have an extra defense 20%. And also when the enemy attacks with ranged weapon, reduce damage taken by 20%. This is really, really strong because it doesn't matter your type. It can be beam, it can be physical, it can be special. All of those ranged weapons is going to get their damage reduced if you hit the Super Hyperion Gundam. This is a really good damage mitigation. Now if you go into the ultimate unit, the UR here, if you upgrade it to the UR, then the ability gets stronger. So the defense goes up, the maximum HP goes up, and the damage taken reduction also goes up. So this is really, really strong if you do want to upgrade it, like a really strong tank here. And also, it has the highest mobility down debuff. This is a level 6 mobility down debuff, and he is, I think, the only one who has level 6 mobility down right now in this game. Although it's not not that useful. Like it has its uses. Like mobility affects your accuracy and evasion. So if you struggle against an enemy that just have a higher accuracy or have high evasion, then you do want to use this. Or if you want to just inflict this debuff to your enemy and expect the enemy to miss their attack against you, then yeah, this is great. And it has a range of 4 too. So Gundam Hyperion, Super Hyperion Gundam is really, really good for your option to upgrade among the ultimate units. Oh, and it also have a movement of 5, so this is really good. Yeah. Now going into the 00 here, 00 series. Now in here we have this one. This one is just so. It's all right. All of the 00 series have a Trans M attack. So the weapon, they have this 4500 power but requires tension max or greater. So all of them have this, but it's not really worth upgrading. Like look at this, because they don't have anything else aside from that attack that have a 4500 power, and that's it. The rest is just so. So there is nothing good mentioning in here. Like that's just it. So I don't recommend going for this series. Look at this, tension max or greater. So it's just so, nothing worth upgrading. The only notable unit in here is the Gundam Exia in here. It is a tank with a 5 movement, so you can absorb the damage for your allies from further away, and that's it. That's the only thing worth mentioning in the 00 series. And we go here. In here also, we don't really have anything that is worth mentioning. Look at this. This one. Oh, this one. Yes. This one have a critical damage. So, look at this. 2 to 4 range attack, a special type of attack, and has a critical damage increased by 20%. So, the thing is that a critical damage weapon effect usually most of the time, like 80% of the time, is on a physical, not a physical, a melee attack uh, uh, from other units. Like other units who have this critical damage weapon effect usually have them on their melee attack. So there are only two units in this game that have this on their range attack, which is the S Gundam and this Gundam, this unit, the Alpha Thor. Yes. So hence why the S Gundam is the best SSR unit in this game, because if you use a critical rate pilot and actually manage to deal your critical damage, it can deal a lot. Just like any other games, like critical damage always is the way to deal the most damage to your enemy. So this one is only worth mentioning because this is a rare unit that has a critical damage on its range attack. So that's that. But it's not as good compared to the S Gundam, because look at this, the terrain have disadvantage. Like you can bring him, but it has a disadvantage aside from the space terrain. So yeah, not really worth upgrading. Like you better just wait until you get your S Gundam. Now the rest, there's nothing else good in here. Yes. Okay, now going into the Barbatos, this guy, obviously the Barbatos itself is worth mentioning because it is one of the strongest melee physical damage dealer. It is even stronger than the Master Gundam in terms of melee damage dealer, and also it deals special damage. Not a physical, yeah, sorry. It's special. It's a melee special damage dealer that has the highest power attack. 5,000 in here. So if you do require a physical melee special damage dealer, then this is your guy. Too bad you cannot use him in the Eternal Expert number 1 because this is an alternative series. But if you do require a physical, a special melee damage dealer that you can just bring in front of your enemy, wait there, and wait until the enemy attack you and you counter-attack them and you protect him using your tank, like the strategy that is being used in the Expert number 1 and Expert number 2, then you can just use him to be in the front line and just counter-attack using that huge damage. Now going into this one, the Gundam G Generation Rebake is a really good support. I do recommend you to upgrade him if you do need him in the Barbatos series. This one have damage taken from physical weapons up 20%. So it's a perfect pair for the Barbatos. It has a range of 4 and it is a level 5 physical weapons damage taken debuff, and also have a map attack of snipe. It doesn't have high power, but it is still something. Like if you do want to attack your enemy without them counter-attacking you, then you can just use this. So really good support unit now. But in terms of usage, like, unless you go into a content that only allow you to use the Barbatos unit, then yeah, you have a better supporter units that you can use. Now among here, there should be another one. Oh no, it's from a gacha. Yes, this guy from a gacha one, the Grace Return, the commander type, have one of the strongest attack down debuff, but it is in a melee range, so it's not that good. But yeah, it's worth mentioning. Now going into the Mercury here, we have one of the best alternative series unit that you can upgrade here, Gundam Aerial Rebuild. So you have an option of upgrading Freedom SR Gundam or this Gundam Aerial Rebuild SSR. So this is another unit that you can use as your main DPS in the alternative series. It has a 4,500 power attack with a range of 5. You can attack your enemy from far away, and if you use a pilot with an extra range, an increased range, and you can attack your enemy from 6 range away and avoid getting counter-attacked by them. And the farther you are from the enemy, the greater weapon power increase. So this is really good. Although unit tension max or greater, so you do need a pilot with the MP up. That's why in my previous video, when I mentioned a new pilot, I mentioned like the way I judge my pilot, I value my pilot, is whether they have an MP up ability or not. Like that's the first thing that I'm looking for in my pilot. The second one is gonna be the range increase, and then after that the sway, and then after that the movement up, because with the movement up you can protect your allies from further away if you want to use it and not move. Like for example, if you have move 5 in here, then you can just use your tank, increase your movement to 6 and don't move, and you can protect your allies from further away, 6 squares away. So yeah, this is a Gundam aerial rebuild. It has an ability of increased attack and also reduce damage taken from beam weapons, which is good for a little bit of survivability. Now, going into here, yeah, this is the unit that we saw in the summary just now in the beginning of this video. Gundam Alfred or Now this one have a really strong debuff. I think this one have the attack. No, attack down. This one, mobility down. Yes, a mobility down debuff level 5. So this is great, and it also has the attack down. So one of the good tank that you can use. But we already have a lot of tank to choose from. Yeah, that is much better than this one. So only if you have to be in the Mercury series, then just don't upgrade him yet. Now this one have the defense down, and also damage taken from beam weapons up. Like the defense down is the good one. This is a level 5 defense down at range 4. So yeah, again, unless you cannot use your Zeta Gundam, then this is your option. Alfred Thorn. Yeah, I never remember those names. So that's it. That's all the units that are worth mentioning in all the development diagram. Yep. Now I'm gonna look for the Gundam Leopard. Where is the Gundam Leopard? I forgot. Gundam Leopard supposed to be in here, right? Can't remember. Leopard is where? Well, anyway, if you manage to find out Gundam Leopard, I forgot where he is. You can just take a look at him yourself. It is an R unit with a 4,500 weapon attack. So yeah, that's it. So that's all about this video. That's all the units that are worth mentioning in the development diagram. So you can just go to the stage, to the main stage, and use your AP to grind all those units every day. So what I usually do every day is basically just go to this stage, because among these stages you also need to grind for the weapon upgrade parts. Here, this one, this one, and the one that you want to get the most is the beam range weapon upgrade material, because like I said, 50% plus, like above 50% of the units in this game use beam range weapon. So you're gonna need a lot of this material. So what I usually do is that go to the G Gundam 3rd stage, and then the seed 1, 2, 3 hard. This one 1, 2, 3 hard. They all give the beam range. It's either the beam range or the special range, I forgot. But these are all the stages that I grind every day. Then the Z Gundam, the 3rd one, the 3rd hard. And then go to the double Z Gundam, the 3rd and the 2nd. 3rd and the 2nd. And then after that, go into the Wing Gundam, 3rd. The 3rd one is the one worth grinding. And then all of this, they all have only one hard stage. So I just grind each one of them every day, just so that I can finally get all these units to limit break 3. Like they only have one hard stage, so those are the only thing I need to grind. So yeah, those are all the stages that I grind every single day. So depending on what you aim for in the development diagram, all those units that are worth mentioning, you can just go and further spend your AP on that particular stage. Like for example, if you do want to aim for the Psycho Gundam, then every day you can just go to the 2nd stage of this Zeta series and just grind this Psycho Gundam until you get him to limit break 3, and that's it. You can either have like if you want, if you do like Psycho Gundam that much, just grind until you have 10 Psycho Gundam at limit break 3, which is it's gonna be stupidly stupid. But it is gonna be fun. Like looking at 10 Psycho Gundams in a stage. Like, that's gonna be fun. Yeah. So that's the important thing about playing this game, you know, just have fun. So that's it for this video, guys. So thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.